Yo, yo, yo. All right, so today we're going to talk about being intentional and working for free. Let me take you guys on a journey. So, back in the day, I started my first job ever was was in the cornfields of Indiana. I know it sounds like slavish, but I was picking corn at 13. So, got that job. My very next job was working at Dairy Queen Orange Julius. Okay, that's service. That's customer service. Then my next job after that, through high school and part of college, was bagging groceries, stocking the shelves, right? So I did that for years, all through high school, right? Learning how to interact with people, right? So wasn't shy. I can talk to people. So I start honing in on that skill set. I'm like, okay, that comes easy. Years later, out in San Diego, still had telemarketing jobs, sales jobs, customer service type of jobs, surveys, constantly getting rejected. But I also had wins. I also had conversions, also had sales. And I was always one of the top performers in whatever role or position that I was in. So I was like, okay, cool. This is becoming easier. So after that, okay, cool. Fitness, athletics have always been in my background, right? So I love that. Found that I was passionate about that, and it's actually a thing that I can do. So I started hustling, training people online. Very first customers were there. Shout out to Eddie, Shanae. They were my very, very, very first online clients. Then I went to in-person training, honed skills over the years. And long story short, I work with athletes, business professionals, stay-at-home moms. I did that for years. College kids, semi-pro, pro athletes. I did that. It's my lifestyle. I love it. So then when COVID happened, I had time to reflect, and I was able to be like, okay, that's cool, but let me try something different, right? Let me try something. And so I went down a path of trying to figure it out. So opportunity came for me to be a part of, shout out Players Choice podcast, one of the founding people of that. And I started out as a host. And the show was about basketball. And now it's turned into a whole network. It's dope. Shout out Shaq. Shout out to the team over there. And I was like, I really want passionate about hosting it. It was cool. I'll do it. I have that type of energy. But as things changed, I had a conversation with Shaq, and we found out that back end was what I was really, really intrigued with. When I mean that back end, I'm talking about sponsorships, negotiating, reaching out to businesses. That interaction charged me up because I knew that was going to move the needle as far as like the podcast and eventually the network. So I started that, and I went down that journey. I was like, okay, this is a real thing. So I seen that I was getting some wins and connecting with influencers and businesses and that nature. So I really started, is this a real career? And I found that recruiting and business development was actually a thing. So ta-da. So then I got on that journey of, okay, now I need to get in a corporate space. Mind you, I don't have a college degree, right? But that's another topic for another day, but I don't have a college degree. Went to college, have some college experiences. So I started getting my resume together. I started getting on LinkedIn, met with, I'll consider him my mentor. He told me, hey, do X, Y, Z. You know what I'm saying? Do this, do that, get your followers up. I did all of those things. Sorry, this is going a little longer. But I did all of those things, and, I was getting rejected. My very, very first corporate role was after 11 months of interviewing and rejections and refining myself, right? So I know that if I got a chance, that I was able to execute, perform at the best of my ability, right? So long story short, I had a wonderful experience at my first gig. But I'm sharing that with you guys to let you know that anything is possible if you're intentional about it. I would study. I was studying what is recruiting, what is business development in that world, in a remote world at that, right? So I did have those experiences. I had customer service. I actually had business development because I started multiple businesses before with 45 days notice, and I was actually, to get that up, got a contract. I've done these things, and even for myself with my personal training business, you have to have business development type of skills to get the facility or contract with the facility owner to sub-rent the space and build those relationships. So that's what it's all about when it comes to those skill set of sales, is building those relationships, building the rapport, building that book of business, being transparent and not trying to be a snake, right? Or untruthful. So I know I'm ranting right now, but as you guys can hear, I'm still on a bike. But I just wanted to share with you guys, man, be intentional about whatever role, whatever goal you're going after, and do it for free. Some of that podcast, I wasn't getting paid for that. But I knew deep down in my heart, I was like, okay, I know this is going to take off eventually. But more importantly, I was like, the skill sets that I'm getting, those reps, and how to interact online, that was important to me. And even though I was getting rejected after interview and interview, you don't have enough experience. Oh, you're too junior. They didn't say you're too junior, but being in that space, I know how they talk, right? So, and being a recruiter or on a talent acquisition team, just interacting with the teams and collaborating with, cross functions, you hear how they talk, and I understand the language, and it's not a slight, it's just what it is, right? So too junior means you don't have enough experience in that space. And in order to, get those reps, you need a chance. So you have to be able to sell yourself. You have to be able to sell yourself and what you're capable and what you're willing to do to your next leader, right? If you're looking to transition into something from a different industry, you have to sell yourself. You have to sell your past experiences, what you did for free, how you accomplished something. I'll break that down in another video or clip, but I'll keep it short. I'll get off right now, and I'll see you guys on the next one.